In today's video, we're going to be building a team with only players that don't have a face. Not literally per se, but we are going to be only purchasing players that have no in-game player image. A lot of fans like to avoid these players because there's really no connection to them other than their name. But today, I'm not avoiding them, so let's get into it. And for this challenge, we're taking over Ghent in Belgium, mostly because their badge is the only one with a big face. And I didn't know this until I was going to select the manager, but our manager also does not have a face in game. This is perfect. And jumping into this Ghent side, we have 3 players already with no in-game player image, Manger, Lopez, and Gore, but I wouldn't be opposed to even getting them out of this team. Maybe Lopez can stay for now. And our first signing of the video is going to be the goalkeeper position. This was the toughest one to hunt for when I was doing my research. There's not many goalkeepers with no face. Not only that, there's not many with good potential, and that's what we really need because a lot of these players are going to be young. So we've started off with Cardoso here, coming over from Germany, from Mönchengladbach. Similar issue here, I didn't look too hard into right back because I don't think it's a position we really need right now, but I'd like to get someone in there. You know how I do my videos, I go all out as soon as I can. So our right back is going to be Sam Renders, coming over from a Belgium team in Antwerp. We've got our right back, let's go get our left back here. We're doing that by signing a center back, who we're going to convert, bringing him back to Belgium from Ajax. It is Jorthi Mokio. It's surprising how many players in the Premier League don't have a player face, and here's one of our couple that we might sign this video. It is Aiden Heaven, coming over from Manchester United. We have brought in our center back partner for Aiden Heaven though. Chelsea man coming over, it is Aaron Anselmino. I'm excited for this pairing. And while Manger is now moved to the bench, this is what our backline and goalkeeper are looking like. So let's move on to the midfield and attack. And we're actually starting with the cam slot this time around, bringing over a Greek wonder kid from the Belgian league. It is Konstantinos Karetsas. I hope I said that right. And our next signing here, a center mid signing, someone that I wish I could have used more of in my last video. If you didn't see it, go check it out. It is João Simoas coming over from Sporting in Portugal. Truthfully, there were probably some better options. I just really like this guy's name. And since we don't get a player image, you gotta take the name sometimes. So we have taken Louis Leroux from FC Nantes. I just wish he was from Bordeaux. Louis Leroux from Bordeaux would have been so much better. And with our midfield looking fantastic, the only player I didn't replace or upgrade here was Lopez. He is 72 rated and he has no player image. So we'll keep him for now. May need an upgrade in the future though. But it is now time for the best part. Our strikers. There are plenty of players with no player image that are great at the striker position, but this is someone I haven't seen used in many videos thus far. Maybe I'm just watching the wrong videos, but it is Cheeto Obi, the Manchester United player, coming over to re-partner up with Aiden Heaven and take over this attack. But he's going to be doing that next to our star signing of season number 1. Yes, we made a lot of signings here, but if the real goal is to get players with no player image, I think we've done a good job at doing that. And we have found one of the best strikers I had on offer. It is Kawa Elias, coming over from Ukraine, Shakhtar Donetsk. I am excited for this team. Let's go take a look. So yes, I did move Manger and Gore onto the bench. I'm going to try and hang on to them as long as I can though. They're perfect backups for this team right now. But with this strike force of Obi and Elias, let me know in the comments. We now have a full starting 11 of no image players. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this team is going to do fantastic. I guess the game will correct me right now. So I decided to use the last of our budget to sign a couple backup players, including Sean Stewart, Stefano Carrillo, Robert Ramsak, Felix Miser, and his brother Tyler Miser. Don't know if they're actually brothers. And when I say last of our budget, we have $6 left. $6. And I know that was a lot of signings, a lot of players, a lot of people you're probably going to forget. So let's take a second and look at this team. And while it was an overall downgrade for Ghent as a whole, I think long term, this is a team that's going to be winning Champions Leagues. This is a team that we won't see them lift the trophy because they don't have faces, but they'll lift it either way. And here on the 1st of January, it looks like Obi was the right choice. Both him and Elias are scoring like crazy, and our attacking 3 have all grown +3 this season. However, we currently sit 8th in the Belgian league, so not so great there. We are still in contention for the cup as of right now, and I didn't realize this, but I guess we're in the conference league and we're doing okay there too, 14th currently. But looking back at the stats, we do have 2 players that seem to be taking some game time from our no image players. I need to get them out here in January. So let's go make some signings. So we decided to make a straight swap for Max Dean with Leonard Carl coming over from Bayern Munich. And you know I couldn't help myself. Dude, if I keep finding these guys, I'm just going to keep signing them. It's another alliteration name, Keita Kasugi, the Japanese left back coming over. It's actually an upgrade on our current left back as well. But it looks like that's where we ended, was 14th overall in the Conference League. So we are headed to the playoffs against Molde. This team is not too happy, but game 1 against Molde, let's hope it goes well. 2-1 loss, we need game 2 to go a lot better. Game 2 against Molde, let's see what we can do here. Can we make a comeback? We do make a comeback with Kawa Elias scoring all 4 goals. 60th minute, 86 to send us to extra time, scores again in the 92nd. They score to bring it back, and we score in the second half of extra time. Kawa Elias, 4 goals for him to take us. And our round of 16 matchup is against BK Haken here. We did okay last time. Let's see if we can do it this time. 3-2. We're actually winning for once. And Kawa Elias just can't stop scoring. 6 goals in 2 games. And we are 1 goal up heading toward the quarterfinals. I'd like to get there. Let's see if we can do it here. Can Elias take us there? It's a 2-2 draw. Obi with a goal, Elias with 1 more, and we are going to the quarterfinals. And we have finished the regular season of the Belgian League where we placed 11th. Not so great from us. And we're now into the playoff round, which truthfully, I don't know how this works, so let's just find out. But we have now run into our first real roadblock of the Conference League. We are facing Fiorentina. And while we have plenty of growth on plenty of these players, I don't know if we can beat Fiorentina. We'll find out here in game 1. It's a 2-1 loss. We can come back from this though. Conference League quarterfinal against Fiorentina here. We're down by 1. Kawa Elias has carried us past this before. Can he do it again? It's a 1-1 draw. He does score, but we are not moving on in the Conference League. And here in June, we ended up placing 3rd in the playoff round, but we were knocked out of the cup by Genk 5-1. The Champions League this year went to Arsenal, the Europa League went to Porto, and the Conference League did go to Fiorentina over Chelsea on penalties. But Kawa Elias, again, don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, that's what I'm going to call him though, +6 overall, 77 rated, 34 goals, and only 1 assist. We need to make him a team player. Chido Obi +6 as well, but only 16 goals, and Joao Samoas +8, 11 and 11 from that center mid spot. So we made some loan moves here. Tyler Miser off to Turkey, Dorothy Mokio to Leeds, and Robert Ramsack to Club Brugge, as well as making some backup signings here, starting with the goalkeeper position with Nils Ramming. I'm very excited for this guy. A new right back as well in Angel Ortiz, and then a center mid backup in Diego Rodriguez. And after those signings, it means from here on out, we now have a full team of no-face players. And it's a great sight to see. Well, great sight to not see. I can't see any of them. I don't know what's happening. I found 3 players at the bottom that still had an in-game face, so let's just get them out of here and get some new faces in. Well, lack of faces. And these 3 don't make too much of an impact, but it was 3 of the best signings at the time. Which now officially means that we have a full starting 11 and a full bench and reserves of no in-game phase players. I'm stoked with this. Let's get into season 2 and let's start winning. And here on the 1st of January, Obi and Elias are pretty similar in goals and assists. However, Elias is 81 rated. Already, 19 years old, 81 rated. This guy's going to be a superstar. Joao Samoa is 80 rated as well. And we are doing much, much better in the league this time around. Only 2 points behind first place. I will gladly take that. But we have no European football this year because of how poor season 1 went. And at the end of the regular season, we finished 1st overall. I will happily take that, which means we are in the championship round and have potential for European football this year. We ended up 2nd place overall in the championship tournament. I believe that gives us a shot at UCL. I don't know if it's guaranteed. However, we were knocked out in round 1 of the cup this year. Still no luck there. And the Champions League went to Real Madrid this year, 3-1 over Barcelona in an El Clasico. Sevilla win the Europa League, and Shakhtar Donetsk beat FC25 4-1 in a Conference League final. Chido Obi +6 overall in growth, but 32 goals and 6 assists for him. Fantastic season. 29 and 14 for Kawa Elias, 83 rated. 83 for Joao Samoas as well, 11 and 8. I am loving this growth and I am loving this team. And in season 3, it does look like I was right. We do not have automatic Champions League, but we get a playoff against Galatasaray in August. Qualifying round against Galatasaray. This is a big, big step for us. We were knocked out of the Conference League just 2 years ago. Haven't been in Europe since. Let's see. Can we get back into Europe? 1-1 draw to start. We need a big game 2. All right, game 2. It is a 1-1 draw. We need a win here to move on. Can we do it? It's 1-1, and we win on penalties. We scored every single one of our pens. That is a good sign. Maybe we don't score all of them. I lied. The one person I would have expected to score missed, but we move on either way. But our next qualifying round is against FC Porto. This is going to be really tough. Porto always has a good team, a great team in FC25 career mode. Can we move past them in game 1? It's a 2-1 win. We are up in game 1. Thank you, Elias, for the last minute goal. All right, we are up by 1 over Porto. If we can just hold our lead here, a tie or a win sends us to the actual Champions League phase. Can we do it? 3-2 is more than enough. We are going to the league phase. Champions League in season 3, but they did not make it easy on us in our first year in the Champions League. We start off with Sevilla and Man City. October is Stuttgart. November is Bergamo Calcio and Ajax. December is Fenerbahce. And January is Roma and Barcelona. This is an extremely difficult league phase, even for a good team. And here in January, we are still doing absolutely fantastic. 33 goals for Kawa Elias, 26 for Obi. Crazy season so far. This is, again, middle of January. We are currently placed second in the league, and I think we'll catch up to that. I hope so, at least. But the Champions League has been a little bit shaky, 15th right now, and we still have 2 big games to go. We've got to play both Roma and Barcelona at the end of January. So while I usually wouldn't make any changes here, I want to switch things up a little bit. And that's coming in the form of a Brazilian left wing coming over from Saudi Arabia. He was probably a teammate with Ronaldo at one point, but he's about to team up with a team of no-face players. It is Wesley coming over from Al Nassr for 17 million. And the right mid that I really wanted to sign is still unavailable. He's off on loan. Hopefully we can get him in a later season. But for now, Bazumana Touré coming over from Hoffenheim, he'll have to do. And with those signings, obviously we didn't have wingers before, so this is the lineup I think we're going to use for the second half of the year. The real sad part is that Obi is now out of the starting 11. I'm hoping to get a loan move for him for the second half of this year. However, Kawa Elias scores plenty of goals by himself, and I'm hoping this formation gets us past a couple more games than we wouldn't have otherwise. We're letting Chido Obi go on loan to Leverkusen for 2 years. I may call him back earlier, but 2 years in Germany. And we did survive the crazy league phase this year and moved into the playoffs for the round of 16. We are facing Ajax here. We have a pretty crazy top-heavy team. The defense is all still lacking, so let's see if we can make it against Ajax in game 1. 1-1 draw. Let's see game 2. All right, game 2 here. It's a 1-1 draw. Can we move on to the round of 16 in the Champions League? 1-0 does it. We're moving on to the round of 16. And you might say this is unlucky. I feel it's unlucky. We are facing PSG, the current champions of the Champions League, for our round of 16 phase. This is going to be a tough one. They always have a goated team in career mode. Can we beat them in game 1 though? Let's find out. It's a 3-0 loss. Yeah, I don't think we can come back in game 2. But game 2 it is against PSG. We are 3-0 down. Can we move on in the Champions League? 2-2 draw, a lot more respectable, but we are still going out in the round of 16. And we ended the regular season second overall, only 3 points behind first, which means we go into the playoffs in second position, and I hope we can move on to the Champions League yet again. Very unlucky draw with PSG. Let's see if we can get through though. And we do. We finished with 1 loss, top of the table, going straight back to the Champions League. We also won the Croaky Cup this year. Domestic double, I'll happily take it. But the Champions League went to Leverkusen, Chido Obi winning a trophy on the road. The Europa League this year went to Chelsea, and the Conference League went to Wolfsburg. But it was Kawa Elias, 55 goals and 6 assists. Simoas, I moved him to the cam slot, 22 and 18 for him. Fantastic year, 89 rated by the way. Carretzas, 17 assists from the cam slot. 9 goals, 17 assists, 86 rated. And I'm happy to say Chido Obi did not go to waste on loan. 10 games and 7 goals for him just on loan. I think the biggest problem we're having though is that there are not many defenders left for me to choose from. All of them are much lower rated than these current players and don't have as much potential to grow, so I kind of just need to stick with the defense we have. I might make a few backup signings, not much more than that though. And to help try and combat our center back problem, I did what I could with what I had, which was signing a center defensive mid and instantly trying to convert him to a center back. It took quite a while though. I also decided to go for a backup left mid, Justin Lerma. He is a surprise tool that'll help us later. And this guy was always in the plan. I wanted to sign Vitor Reis from the start, but we just had to find the right time. So heading into our Champions League phase, I'm excited, still nervous, but excited. We start off in September with AEK and Arsenal. October is Rayo Vallecano. November, Dortmund and Rangers. December, Dinamo Zagreb. And January ends off with Inter Milan and Benfica. And surprisingly, we went straight to the round of 16 against AC Milan. Game 1 went fantastic for us, 4-2 win over AC Milan. However, Game 2 didn't really go to plan. We got 3-0'd and we were out of the Champions League. Another season, another failure in the Champions League. However, we're back up to the UCL next season, first place again, and we're the cup winners for the second year in a row. The Champions League this year did go to AC Milan, so happy for that at least. The Europa League went to Tottenham, and the Conference League went to Napoli. But Kawa Elias, 22 years old, 87 rated, and scored 43 goals this year. Joao Samoas from the cam spot, 35 and 13, and 20 and 6 for our new left mid Wesley in his first full year as an actual left mid. I'm happy with this. How did Chido Obi do? Up to an 85. We now have an 85 and an 87 rated striker. We're going to have to figure out what we're going to do with that. And other than some loan moves, I'm keeping this team mostly the same for this season. I just want to run through the Champions League and get to that quarterfinals at the very least. And the league phase this year looking a little easier so far. Slavia Praha and Getafe to start. October is Feyenoord. November, Arsenal and Barcelona. I lied, not so easy. December is Frankfurt, and January is RB Leipzig and Tottenham. But even with a hard group, we were able to make it through to the round of 16, where we won 3-0 against Frankfurt and proceeded to blow past them like they were dust in Tottenham's trophy cabinet. However, next round, we were against Atletico Madrid, very, very tough. We went down 1-0 in the first game, but Kawa Elias brought us back 2-0 in the next one, moving on to the semifinals against Arsenal. Very, very tough opponent. I was not expecting much from this, and game 1 proved my point. 2-1 down. In game 2, I very much hope we could have come back. However, 2-1 again, and we lost on penalties. And once again, even though we lost the Champions League, we win the Belgian League and the Belgian Cup 3 years in a row now. But the Champions League did end up going to Arsenal, the Europa League to Benfica, and the Conference League to Manchester City. Elias, top goal scorer. I could have told you that from the start. But Obi coming back, 11 games, 10 goals. What a guy. I need to find a way to get him in the starting 11. That may mean losing our wingers a lot sooner than I wanted to. But with 2 95 rated cams, a back line that actually makes sense now, and a really, really solid bench, I don't see how we're not getting further. I mean, we made the semifinals. That's like the second furthest you can go. I would have loved to be in the finals, though. Guess we'll find out if we can make it there next year. And I still don't think I found a good way to get Cheeto Obi into the squad. I'm just going to leave him on the bench again and hope that he doesn't want to leave by the end of the season. But I do think this is our best bet to getting to that Champions League final. And we're only making one signing this year, as there's really not many players that actually upgrade this team. It's just bench upgrades from here. But Yang Min Hyuk is a great bench upgrade. I've been trying to sign him for a couple seasons. Wanted to sign him last season, but Tottenham has been sending him on loan year after year. He finally moved to Frankfurt, and here he is with us. 84 rated, 23 years of age. And the league phase this year starts with Liverpool, October, Juve and Bayern, November, Valencia and RC Lens, December, Atletico Madrid, in January, Lille and Salzburg. This is an extremely tough league phase, but if any team's going to do it, it's this one. But I can't say it went terrible. 11th overall takes us into the playoffs for the round of 16. Now, let me know in the comments if you guys enjoyed the voiceovers. I just didn't want to keep talking about the fact that we're losing pretty easy games. And we made it through Leverkusen pretty easily, but Atletico Madrid was a big hurdle yet again this year. We passed them last year, but 2-2 in game 1, and game 2 went to Atletico Madrid, sadly. We were out in the round of 16. But it was still a great year for Kawa Elias. 45 goals for him, and some crazy numbers for our cams as well. I'm loving this new formation. We did end up winning the league once again, as per usual. We did not win the cup this year, however. Very sad from us. Bayern won the Champions League. Fiorentina won the Europa League, and Stade Rennais won the Conference League. But heading straight into next year, I did not want to waste any time. I just wanted to see our Champions League phase and see, is this something that is manageable for us? Can we win the Champions League? Pretty tough group this year. Some big teams in there, but I think we have a chance. But even with a tough group, we stormed through the league phase, 6th overall. We're heading straight to the round of 16. We cannot mess this up. Speaking of messed up, Kawa Elias got messed up and was injured for 3 months heading into the second half of the season. But even with Cheeto Obi starting up top, we did very well against Dynamo Kiev. 3-0 in the first game and 3-1 in the second game. Aggregate 6-1, I'll take it. However, we're facing AC Milan and we have struggled against them before, and a 1-1 draw was not what I wanted to see to start this out. Still not having Kawa Elias, I was stressed for game 2. However, we pulled through a 4-1 win to send us to the next round, and we were going to be facing Real Madrid. That was not what I wanted to see at all. And I must have prayed to every single god before this game, because what is about to happen, I was not expecting. 2-1 win. Here in the semifinals, almost a full starting 11 again, we have a chance to make the finals for the first time this video and hopefully just win the Champions League. These players have grown to crazy heights that I did not expect from them. Most of their max potential were 87, so dynamic player potential in the Belgian league has been great, especially for Carretzas and Joao Simoas up at 98 and 97. But 1 goal up against Real Madrid might not be enough. We need to win here in game 2. We need to tie or win to move on to the final. Can we do it against Real Madrid? And we get 3-0'd in the semifinals. Ousmane Dembele with a brace. And we are not moving on to the finals yet again. First place in the league, but what does that matter? We do get back to winning ways in the Croquis Cup, and Inter Milan beat Real Madrid to win the Champions League, Leipzig with the Europa League, and Liverpool in the Conference. With Kawa Elias being injured for quite a while, Carretzas took over the goal scoring, 36 and 13, Simoa's 28 and 13. Great seasons for them at the cam slots. But it is so sad to see that this team can't seem to make it to a Champions League final. Players like Louis Leroux and Victor Ruiz are still struggling to catch up, especially our goalkeeper as well. But there is no way that we can't make a final within the next 2 years. So the only way I thought we could do this was by bolstering our squad depth. I decided to sign a left back, a right back, and a center attacking mid. All of them 80 rated, all of them still potential to grow if we really needed it. And with that change, it's important to mention that our entire starting 11 and bench is now over 80 rated. So it's safe to say I'm pretty confident heading into this year's Champions League. Even with teams like Bayern and Liverpool in there, I still think this is one of our easiest league phases yet. And before we finish out January, I have sad news. Louis Leroux is now an AC Milan player. When I was renewing contracts, I didn't see that he asked for a release clause, and Milan was willing to pay it $167 million to take him from us. Thankfully, this wasn't too much of a problem as I had already converted Justin Lerma to a center mid as I was trying to figure out a new formation, so he was already a backup. Now he's just going to start more games. Only one rating difference, by the way. And of course, not only are we currently first in the league, we finished third and undefeated in our Champions League phase. Only Bayern and Liverpool finished above us, and they were two of the teams we faced. So straight to the round of 16, we win against RC Lens. Game 1, pretty solid, 3-1 win for us, we'll take it. Game 2, another 1-0 win. Very simple, very easy. However, our next matchup wouldn't be as easy. We're facing PSG, the current Champions League winners, who we were able to demolish 3-0 in Game 1 here. Now, it's Game 2. There's always chance for a comeback, but I had plenty of confidence heading into this matchup. And even though they scored 2 goals, we still took the win. And it was just so fitting for us in the second or third season in a row to be facing Atletico Madrid, this time for the semi-finals of the Champions League. Game 1, I was scared, but a 3-1 win put some confidence in my heart. Heading into Game 2, this is it. We have a chance to go to the finals for the first time this video, hopefully the only time this video. We are up by 2, but that's bit us before. 3-2 win, we're moving on to the finals. And the numbers show just how dominant we've been this season. 35 goals for Joao Simoes at the cam slot. But here's something interesting. Cheeto Obi has been on the bench this whole season. I have not had him in the team sheet starting 11. 54 games, 34 goals. Kawa Elias, only 7 games this whole year. I think that's a sign that Cheeto Obi needs to be the one starting this final. But of course, we did win the Belgian League again, and we are in the Croquis Cup final, but it's actually after the Champions League final, so I'll show you that at the end, I guess. It was Benfica who won the Europa League and Sevilla who won the Conference League. But for us, it's a matter of Ghent and the no-face team against Bayern Munich. So even though Kawa Elias has been a fantastic player for us all video, Cheeto Obi has proven this season he's the guy. So I'm starting Cheeto Obi in this Champions League final against Bayern Munich. For context, I've been at this rebuild for about 4 real days, mostly due to time restraints, but also due to the fact that we just kept losing easy-ish games. But now I'm excited. Let's watch this final. Kickoff against Bayern Munich. I am so pumped for this. I'm really hoping for big things here, and I'm hoping for an early goal. It's Toure into Simoes. Simoes to Carretzos, top of the box, takes a shot off the crossbar in the 4th minute. Wow, what a way to start. All right, we're looking at a corner here. It's Wesley on the corner. And he sends it straight to the other team, but we get it. What just happened? Wesley sent it directly to the opposition in the box, and somehow it bounced off them, and I think that's Anselmino. I'm not sure. I would know their player face, but I haven't seen it this whole video. Bounces it off the defender. A tactic I've never seen before. It's Ortiz, our right back. I haven't talked about him much at all, but he has been standout. Off the crossbar and in. Off the corner. What a weird tactic, but it worked. Bayern trying to make something here. The 25th minute, gets it in, shot, and saved again. And we go into halftime 1-0 up against Bayern Munich. And as much as I really want to put Kawa Elias back in this squad, I think we need to let Obi have his moment. So I'm going to wait till the 60th minute or so to put him in. For now, we're back in this final 1-0 up against Bayern. A freak goal from our right back, but I'd expect nothing less from this squad. The no-face team is holding their own. Just 20 minutes left to go in this final. Bayern wins it back. They're going to try and make something out of this attack here. Gets it into Mendes. They get a shot, and it is a goal. It is a goal. Bayern gets an equalizer in the 72nd minute. You know what that means. We're making this up here. Cheeto Obi is coming off Kawa Elias. Our goal-scoring machine for the last, 6 seasons is coming on. And we need something big out of this change. We're letting Bayern have way too much possession in the midfield. They're on another attack here. They get the ball in. It's a shot and a goal again. Bayern is up 2-1. That is not what we wanted to see. Not at all. Their striker, Vasco Mendes, with a late brace. 83rd minute here. But I think it's about time. I am jumping in. We win the ball back early here. Get it back out to Wesley. We have no pressure. Like I said, it's on beginner. All I want to do here is send it to extra time if I can. And Wesley scores the goal to send it to extra time. But Kawa Elias here wins it off the kickoff. He doesn't want extra time. He does not want extra time. He subs in for Cheeto Obi and gets the goal. Yes, I know I got the goal. But Kawa Elias does it for Ghent at the final kick of the ball. And that is it. The ref has blown their whistle, and it is a 3-2 thriller of a match here for Ghent and Bayern Munich, but Ghent takes home the Champions League trophy once and for all. But we don't see the celebrations yet because there's still another game to go. I'm just going to simulate. Let's see, can we win the Croaky Cup this year as well? And we do. 2-0 win. We win the Croaky Cup. Either way, I had so much fun with this rebuild, using players I would have never used before. And finally, after like 7 or 8 seasons, I stopped keeping track after season 3, we have won the Champions League. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below what other rebuilds you want to see. But that's all for this video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.